What is up, everyone? Okay, this is going to be a short and sweet episode on the new year, 2026, and what I think are the most impactful things that I want you to focus on for the new year. And at the end of the episode, I'm giving a quick update on what is going on with Off The Gryd Therapy trips. So if you want to see what's going on with Off The Gryd Therapy, listen to the end, right? But here you go. Enjoy the show. This is it.
Trying to follow, but I lose myself. What is living for if I burn in hell?
As we step into the new year for 2026, I want to slow this moment down. I really want you guys to understand everything that I am going to talk about in the next 10 minutes. I'm hopping on here to just give you something to focus on. I know that all of us, mostly all of us, are going to sit down at some point and set down goals, set down things that we want to do this year, things that we want to achieve this year, money that we want to save. We're all going to be doing that. Like I said, most of us are going to do that. If you haven't, I encourage you to do that during this time of the year. It is a great thing for setting yourself up for success. Now, that being said, the next 10 minutes, I want you to lock in. I want you to listen. I want you to focus because it's very short. And I want you, I'm simply doing this just to give you something to focus on, okay? So as we go into it, we're stepping into January, right? This is January 1st. And as of January 1st, every single year, you should have something where you have written or have put it down somewhere that you are going to do this or become this or be this for this year. A lot of people do it differently. I'm not going to hit on specifics. I'm gonna focus on things where I think people fall short, and I think that most people can benefit from this greatly. So today's podcast episode, it's literally just going to be about motivation. It's going to be about goal setting, and it's going to be about the difference between dreams versus goals. I see this all the time when I'm working with clients, when I'm working with athletes. Every single time we fall short, it's this differentiation between me setting goals and me setting dreams. Okay, and I'll jump into that later. But as the year starts out, I want you to understand it's exciting. It's a fresh start. It's a clean slate. Everybody loves that. That's why I want to bring up motivation. And I'm not going to hit on it like every single person hits on it. Like we don't need motivation. We need discipline, yada, yada, whatever. Yes, okay. We should understand that at this point, right? Discipline is really important, and motivation is something that is fleeting. But I want to focus on something kind of separate, partially attached to that. But motivation, it fades, right? And sometimes it fades very quickly. When it does, most people kind of turn that into like, okay, what is wrong with me? I don't accomplish this thing that I'm setting out to do. I'm a failure. I'm this, I'm that. Those are kind of things that we tend to go into. And I want you to understand nothing is wrong with you, right? We all fall short. Every single one of us. All of us fall short. No one is perfect, right? But if you do the things that I'm about to say, I'm hoping that it will help you because I've seen it help people. It's helped myself. It's helped my relationships. It's helped with literally every facet of my life. And it's as simple as understanding how to set goals, right? That is something that we do at the beginning of every new year. It's like new year, new me, right? So kind of going back into that, the brain, our brains, obviously, since you guys know I like the brain, it doesn't change through like you being all excited, right? What actually causes change inside of your brain, because we're looking for change, right? This is a new year, new me. We're looking for change. It changes through evidence. It changes through proof, okay? And when that proof gets put in front of us, all it's doing inside of our brain is telling you that you're following through. Even if it's something small, your brain will log it as evidence, right? It'll log it as evidence, and it can say, I can trust myself. I've talked about in the past the word self-efficacy, right? That's the longest predicting thing that I use for performance, because over time, if you can trust yourself, that self-efficacy portion, if I trust myself, that means that everything that I do, I have confidence in the thing that I'm doing, right? So we're looking for this belief in myself, that self-efficacy. It's the longest and strongest predictor of your success. So if we're thinking about an entire year and this thing that we are writing down our goals and things that we want to do and money that we want to save, like all these, it's pretty important to have self-efficacy, and I want to highlight that, right? So I'm going to trust myself, and that's how the brain does that. Is we're logging, and we need evidence, we need proof. So don't take that lightly. I need self-efficacy. I need to be able to trust myself, right? And we need proof of that. So kind of explaining that, I want you to understand, when you do things, even if they're small, and you do them and you tell yourself that you are doing that one thing, it's very, very important that you succeed in that one thing. You set yourself up to succeed in that one thing. You don't put yourself in a situation where you're not going to succeed in it, because your brain will log that and your self-efficacy gets worse. You can't trust yourself, right? I'll jump into that a little bit as well, kind of towards the end of this, but let's start off with dreams and goals. Okay. I actually, all week this week, I've been having sessions, and during the sessions we talk about dreams and goals, right? During this time of the year, you can imagine, like with the job that I have, when we sit down and I talk to people, like new goals and new dreams and things about 2026 obviously get brought up. So dreams and goals is just a very easy topic for me to bring up and break down and go over what they're going to be doing for the next year. So every single person that I do have this conversation with, it's pretty confusing right off the bat. So I'm going to try and do it the best that I can and try and speak very plainly, but also informatively. Okay. So a dream, that's your vision, right? A dream. It's exciting. It kind of gives you direction. And it gives you like this really, like you're stoked about this dream. And I think that dreams are amazing. And I think that honestly, this time of the year, in the new year, it is the place to have the dreams. Like this is the one time of the year that I can just go crazy on my dreams. And then throughout the year, that's when I set my goals. And I want you guys to understand, there is a differentiation. You have to understand that they're two different things. A lot of us will set goals, and a lot of those goals are actually just dreams. And maybe you set all of your things for 2026, and you look down on paper, and after this podcast, you're going to be like, okay, sick. Every single one of these is a dream. That's great. That's awesome. As long as you can understand and look at it and be like, this is a dream. This is not a goal. That self-efficacy, like I talked about in the beginning, it's going to be put in a place in your mind where it's okay, because you're not letting yourself down. You're not accomplishing the things that you're telling yourself you're going to do if you understand the difference between these two things. Your self-efficacy, it'll remain intact, okay? You will trust yourself if you differentiate the two things. Not everything is a goal. A goal, different than a dream, right? Goal is something that you are going to commit to no matter what happens. You are only going to succeed. If you have a goal, I am going to do this and only succeed. That's it. It should be close to 100% success rate, right? And I say close because stuff happens sometimes. And that stuff is really, really gnarly stuff that I'm talking about, like throughout the year that happens. But for the most part, when you set a goal, it has to be, I am achieving this no matter what. What is in my control 100%. If you set goals, and by the way, a little offshoot here, when you're setting a goal, don't set a goal that's out of your control. The goal should be 100% in your control. This is your goal. This is not your goal for somebody else, right? So that goal, all attached to it, I want you to, easier way to break this down, a dream is something that you hope for. A goal is something that you do, okay? A dream is something that you hope for. A goal is something that you will do, okay? So I am going to do this and I'm going to achieve this no matter what, right? Okay. That's as plainly, I think, and informatively as I can do it in a short amount of time. If you ever get the chance to talk to me or you want to talk about goals and dreams, like I will sit there. I love talking about them. But I'm just going to keep it short like that for right now. Okay. Okay. Why do you think that most people like fail or they do not succeed in most of their goals throughout the year? And like I said, highlighting that, like it has to do with this differentiation between dreams and goals. You're setting dreams. You're not setting goals. Your dreams, they are super important. I love setting dreams. That's my vision. I'm a visionary. That's what I more tend to. My mind is very conflicted. Brock as a person, like he has all these visions, he has all these dreams, but then he also is very, very self-oriented to be able to be like, no, I have these goals. I know how to set goals. It's like ingrained in my brain to set smart goals. That's the next thing I want to talk about, is smart goals. If you have listened to this podcast for a long time, back when it was the mindset sessions, I actually did an entire episode on setting goals and smart goals specifically. So if you listen to that, if you know what a smart goal is, this is something that you're going to know, and I really like this could just be a refresher. So what SMART stands for is specific, measurable, action-based, realistic, and time-bound. If you want to go look that up on the internet and just type in SMART, what's the acronym for it for setting goals? It's going to say specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. I think achievable is just a lame word, so it means realistic to me. So I change it to actionable, something that I can take action on. So specific, measurable, action-based, realistic, and time-bound. Time-bound. Got that? When we set goals, okay? And like I said, this is not a dream. If you're looking at your goal that you've written down for 2026 and it does not hit the marks of SMART, specific, measurable, action-based, realistic, time-bound, it's not a goal. It is a dream, okay? And like I said, nothing bad with dreams. But we're setting goals here, okay? So the goal should be close to 100% success rate. And it will be if you set a SMART goal. Specific, measurable, action-based, realistic, time-bound. SMART. And like I said, if you've never heard of that, write that down, throw it up somewhere where you look at it, get it ingrained into your brain. Every single thing that you do should be a SMART goal, right? If it's a goal. If not, be okay with it being a dream. And like I said, this time of the year, I'm absolutely okay with dreams. I love dreams. Dreams are our vision. We should have dreams. Dreams are amazing. And to turn dreams into reality, it takes goals. Okay? And those goals, like I said, our brain just needs to be able to see us succeeding. It needs to see us absolutely killing it and crushing it. And we need evidence for that. So your brain does not need motivation. It needs evidence. Your brain does not need motivation. It needs evidence. So supply it with the evidence, okay? And that's how you do that. You do that with setting goals. And to achieve really, really great things, you got to have a dream. But that dream is separate from your goal, okay? They are not the exact same thing. In a dream, there are goals. And inside of a goal, there are tons of goals to meet that one goal too. But that goal should be going towards a dream, you know? Okay. I mean, that's for the most part what I wanted to come on here and say. I want you guys to build your self-efficacy. Like that is something huge in the field that I work in. And being able to trust yourself is pretty important, right? And gaining that confidence that you need for your brain to be like, yeah, I trust myself, right? And I want you guys to succeed. I really want you to succeed this year, whatever it is in. I'm excited for your 2026. You should be excited. You should be absolutely stoked. You should be motivated at the beginning of the year. Just understand that motivation is going to drop. And that's where our goals keep us accountable, right? And our goals will make us achieve it, regardless of how we feel. If we're tired, regardless if we have something happen where we get thrown off of our schedule, right? That's why we set really, really good goals. So let's pivot really quick and talk about the Off The Gryd Therapy trips. And for 2026, right? Off The Gryd Therapy, for those who don't know, that is the weekend trips that we run, the men's mental health retreats. I want to give an update on what's going on because normally we announce the dates in December, and That did not happen this past December. So I want to give you an update on what's going on with the business, right? So historically, December is like the time that we would have launched our 2026 dates for the past 4 weeks. And due to circumstances that are out of our control, government, that is not happening, right? Our permits have been delayed, and we are at the mercy of each state because every single state that we run trips in, they have totally different processes on getting permits. And long story short, the government shutdown, it's hurt a bunch of their employees, and it has affected us in different ways as well. And that's why we can't, not that we're not getting the permits, it's just a lot delayed, and we're not getting them all set up by December. So we have been told by some of them that we're going to get permits as quick as the middle of January, and other ones say by the beginning of April, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm working my butt off. We're all working our butt off over here. It's really me and Bree. We're trying to get all the permitting figured out. So it's going well. It's just taking more time than we would like, obviously, but we're grinding. So to be fully transparent, this is the hardest season that Off The Gryd has been in as a business, and we've had major plans for 2026 that are just being put on hold, and we're getting dialed behind the scenes. So we're still planning on an epic year, and I mean like epic year. I am super excited. Some of those dreams that I've had in the past, they are now goals, and I'm going to capitalize on them. So you guys will see what that's going to be here very shortly. I want to take lemons, turn them into lemonade. You know what I'm saying, right? So we're doing things that are going to be great. And that being said, everything that we're going through, I know that this is going to make us better as a company. We're going to help as many families, as many men, as many people because of this trial, right? And these trials. So yeah, we will be announcing a few trips with companies that we've partnered with and gotten permits for that you guys are going to see in the coming weeks. I'll keep you in the loop for our regular California, Idaho, Utah trips and when those all will start coming out. The goal, obviously, it's going to be that I get these out as soon as those permits come in. So everything that's in my control, I'm going to get done. And then everything that is out of my control, that's what I'm going to be fully transparent to you guys about, right? But I'm going to make it happen, right? January is going to be a huge month for our business as we announce some of the major changes that are going to be going on to impact more people. And more people than I ever imagined when we first started, right? So I'm thankful that you're here along the journey and seeing what we're going through. And this is kind of the first time that I'm talking about everything that I've been going through for like the past month and a half. But I'm really excited to meet you off the grid this year. And in the meantime, I want you to, if you can, support us by sharing this podcast with everyone that you know, engaging with us on social media, and buying merch that we just made and we threw it on our website. If you guys want to go over there and buy some merch, that would be awesome. And if this episode really resonated with you, I also do one-on-one sessions, and that's something that you can also reach out and we can set up too. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a happy new year and make it a great week. Make it a great week. Don't have a great week. Make it a great week. All right. See you later.